Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another thrilling episode of Pinfalls. I, of course, am who else but Tommy Ellison, joined, as always, from the everyday fan, from JohnG'sBeat.com, the man on the beat, Mr. John Wroblewski.
Are you ready to rumble?
I am. It's a it's a new year. Before we start our first episode of the new year, I think we should discuss where we landed with 2024, how it ended, and of course, I know you like the lifetime stats, so let's get into the stats just so we can get the starting point for this year because it is officially 0-0 now
Yeah.
going into 2025. So it's a new season here.
Well, I have the stats for all 4 years. I won't read all of them, but last year you finished a very good 48 and 21.
Hmm.
I, however, finished a very better 52 and 17, which then means I won the year 2021 and 2024. You won the middle 2 years, 22 and 23. And overall, I have a huge one-win lead.
So lifetime, you're up one.
Yes.
Years wise, we are at we're
Two.
tied up.
Nice.
Yeah, two tied. So this could be a rubber match year for us here.
This is a rubber match here, and that could be.
Yeah. Well,
If we finish tied at the end of the year, do we have a tiebreaker?
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, like there might be a Saturday night's main event, something that happens, between the final pay-per-view and the end of the year. They'll probably have some sort of event that we can,
Okay.
make one last wager on. But it's going to be interesting because, as we'll find with this particular pay-per-view, I mean, they've been doing an average of about 5 matches a pay-per-view. So our chances to disagree and gain ground on each other are going to be less if they keep this going. Here we are at the Royal Rumble, and it is only 4 matches. So
And
it's gonna
realistically, the odds of, I mean, it's a Royal Rumble. There's 30 contestants, 30 combatants in it.
right.
It's tough to pick the winner. So this is
Yeah,
more of
yeah,
it.
it is. So yeah, if anything, yeah. But here we are, it's 2025. It is the Royal Rumble. Um,
Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. Official start time, 5 p.m. Central.
yeah, starting early, starting early.
And if you're there, there's a great deli like right around the corner. It's about a block away. People line up there. It's Sunday morning. There's a line that wraps around the block.
Yeah. Do you know what the name of it is?
I don't, but if you look it up, I mean, it's famous. It's big.
Yeah. Well, it's the road to WrestleMania begins this Saturday, February 1st. There'll be 2 Rumble matches. My guess is they're going to bookend the event. They usually start with the women's Royal Rumble. We'll close out with the men's, and then we got 2 matches in between. Um, WrestleMania implications, of course. Winner of these Rumbles gets to pick the champion of their choice and face them at WrestleMania. Now, I believe technically they don't have to necessarily fight for a world title, but I
They
don't know.
don't.
But I don't know that anyone's ever used their privilege on a intercontinental or U.S. championship.
What about a
So
tag team? Could they theoretically go for a tag title?
I don't know.
And
That's
could the
the
women's winner go for a man's title?
that's a good question. I would be interested to find out. We are actually
They
talking.
probably make up those rules as they go along, though. No, things like that.
Well, we both are friends with Justin King, who was a WWE referee, and we're hoping to talk to him on our other podcast soon, and maybe we can ask him if he has any inside information as far as what the rules are when it comes to that. If push came to shove, and someone wanted to try to get into the tag, title scene, you must really want those tag titles bad if you're going to use your Rumble.
Well, like what if you've already won every title and you want
Yeah,
that? Or you
Yeah.
got a young guy with you, you want him to get a taste of the titles. There could be things. Or
Yeah.
maybe you got a
Well,
grudge against the guy with a tag title. There'd be lots of things.
it'd have to be one hell of a grudge, but yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I don't suspect that's going to be the case. So, that being said, let's get into it. Women's Royal Rumble. Uh, you got to first just kind of talk about the women's division right now. And I feel like it is really flooded. A lot of women in there, plenty of talent, but just there's just only room for so many. NXT is really cranking out a lot of women, and some of them are coming up to the Raw and SmackDown rosters, but that transition from NXT to Raw and SmackDown isn't always a rocket ship for them. They get real big in NXT, and if people don't watch NXT, and then them coming on to Raw is just kind of like, who's this girl?
Or if they do watch NXT and they come on to Raw and the character's changed or the basis of the character, Piper Niven, changes, that you might lose interest in that wrestler too.
Yeah, there's been way too many who like had great things going on for themselves in NXT. I mean, Baron Corbin, his best run he had was in NXT. He was awesome in
Yeah.
NXT, and then it wasn't until he came to the main roster that everything went south for him, and it was amazing that he lasted as long as he did. So, but again, this is leaving us with a Royal Rumble with lots of girls who are going to get an opportunity to get out there and showcase. But who's going to win the Royal Rumble? Who's going to be the one pointing at the sign at the end of the night? On account of the fact that I feel like you look at who are the big players right now. You got Bailey, you got Nia Jax, and these are all people who are like contenders for who
Yeah.
could get in on this. Io Sky, um, Liv Morgan. Technically, she's gonna probably want to get another shot at the title and everything, but that's played out now, so I don't see that happening. Um,
Becky.
well, so now this is the thing is I don't think it's going to be one of the girls who's on the regular right now on the roster. So my prediction, Charlotte Flair. I think she comes back to the Rumble and Charlotte Flair will win the Rumble, and I think she'll go after Tiffany Stratton. She's already had her thing with Rhea Ripley. They've already fought at WrestleMania before, and I think Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair would be a great main event at a WrestleMania.
Well, isn't this a great way to start the year? I don't even have to say anything. I'm just going to say exactly what you just said. I thought you were going to go a different way, but unfortunately you didn't. And I agree with everything you said. Charlotte wins, goes after Tiffany.
Yeah. Uh, I think that there's more anticipation about her coming back than Becky Lynch. Um, and I think that, like I said, we've seen the thing with her and Rhea Ripley, and even the reinvented Rhea Ripley. They've already kind of, I mean, that was probably the last real important thing that Charlotte did before she left. They've been pushing her coming back. From what I understand, she looks like, just $1 million because if you notice, like she tends to stay off social media and doesn't show so much of like, what she's been up to lately. So when she comes walking out at the Royal Rumble, everybody's going to see her for the first time in a long time, and not being on the road and being able to train, and she trains like a monster. I bet you she's going to come out, and the second she drops that rope, people are going to be like, "Oh
Yeah.
boy, yeah, like she's here to kick some ass." And I think she needed the break, and she needed to get away, and I think she was just gotten to be overexposed, and there's all the drama and stuff around her and all that. She needed to just get some distance, and I think she's had enough. I think people will be excited to see her, and it's a compelling match because people are going to like Charlotte, and there's people who are going to be pulling for Tiffy too. So I think that's a great event, main event to have at WrestleMania. So there it is.
Well, on a side note, I think our old friend Jordan Grace, well, she is going to be in the Rumble, And I think I could see her doing one of two things. I could see her either being early and lasting a long time, not winning
Hmm.
it, not even being in the final four, but lasting a long time, having a good showing, or coming in late, just being a monster, throwing five, six women out, and then being eliminated. But I think either way, she's going to do something impressive. They're not going to ever win it. It's way too early for her. She's just getting there. They're not going to
I
win it. But I
I
think it's going to be impressive.
Well, it's interesting because I agree because I actually specifically brought her up to someone I was talking about this with the other day, and that if we didn't have the option of Charlotte and Becky and all that, I think Jordan Grace might have been the next one in line for it. But I think, like you said, she'll make a name for herself one way or another. If she starts off like first, then yeah, she'll have a real long run and make a name off of that. Otherwise, wherever she comes in after that, I see her probably in the final four. And you never know, she could be in the last two. It could be her and Charlotte at the end.
It
But
would be cool if she won it, though. That would be nice. I don't
I'd
see
be
it happening.
I'd be fine with it. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I'm excited about Jordan Grace doing as well as she is right now, and them incorporating. It's interesting to see where they're going with this TNA thing. But yeah, no, I agree. She's someone who I think that they'll give a lot of spotlight to.
And I
So
had one of her first ever interviews, if not the first,
yeah, well, and I get to meet
as
her
well
now.
as you. See, something in
Yeah,
common.
yeah. All right, next match. We'll do the tag match. 2 out of 3 falls. It's DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Uh, I just don't care
I was going
about
to say
this
this is a
match.
nap match.
Yeah, this is one I just like. If this was a one fall match, I would prefer it because like
Yeah,
I don't need to see 2 out of 3 falls of this.
it's too
I,
soon
I
to have 2 out of 3 with these guys.
I like DIY enough. I don't know. I just haven't been I didn't follow the Motor City Machine Guns prior that I'm coming to WWE, so I don't have that background or love for them that other people do. So all I've seen is what I've seen since they've been there, and I just don't. I'm not feeling the energy or excitement for them. I mean, they look like a couple of indie dudes to me. Um, you know, and then DIY, I like them, but I just think that like this is indicative of just the tag division just
Yeah,
not being really exciting right now. I mean, like this is the best match we can throw together for one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. I mean, this is one of the big four,
yeah,
and it's a big spotlight for them to get. I mean, when you consider there's only 4 matches in the night, I mean, they're really giving them a major slot by giving them this match. I'm not saying it couldn't be a good match. I just don't have any vested interest in the outcome of it.
agreed.
Like whoever wins, whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
like
right, exactly.
life goes on. I mean, I'm not going to jump out of my chair for either one of them. So, based on very little other than, the fact that I'm just not a Motor City Machine Gun guy, I'm going to go with DIY, retain the titles. I don't know. I don't know enough I don't see why they would put the titles. Think they put the titles on Motor City Machine Guns way too early when they brought them in, and that was a mistake. And I don't know why you would have them lose them and then just within a couple months get them right back again. I don't know.
Well, it
So
could. I mean, it could be that they lost faith in DIY. Could be a lot of reasons, and it could be a change. Could have been a change in plans.
it could be if they lost that much faith in DIY though, they would put them in. They'd lose the titles on like Raw or something like
That's
that.
true.
They wouldn't give them a 2 out of 3 falls match at the Royal Rumble at one of the biggest shows. This is a chance for, in my opinion, for DIY to try to cement their own situation that they're in because they still are kind of proving themselves, as a tag team. But the other guys, it's a good chance for them to again showcase themselves and maybe start endearing themselves to more people like me who aren't as familiar with their previous stuff. So I'm going with DIY on this one.
Well, I am not an expert on them, but I am familiar with their work from previous work outside the WWE, and I still don't care about this match. Like you said, either way, I don't care. I think DIY is going to win because I think it's going to probably be a decent match, though. Although I would have preferred one fall as well. But I think it's maybe set up because they want to build DIY a little bit more. They want to, have them have a big match on a big stage. I don't know. I just this match does nothing for me. I'm still going DIY because it doesn't make sense. Why take the titles off them and then put them right back on Motor City Machine Guns? DIY for the win. Leave
Yeah,
it play.
and like I said, I mean, we're saying the same thing. I'm not saying it won't be a good match. I'm sure that these four guys can put on a good match, but that's the match is great, but what it's not going to be enough to get you invested in
No.
the outcome of it.
And it's not
And
going to give me no matter what happens, I'm not going to suddenly become a big fan of that team. And it just,
right,
yeah.
right. If DIY wins, I feel the same about them. If the Motor City Machine Guns win, I'm just gonna kind of be like, I don't get it. I mean, I,
Exactly.
but that's me. All right, moving
True.
on. We have the world title, the WWE world title, will be defended in a ladder match. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Uh, you know, I just at this point, I don't know. Owens has just really been just he gets into these streaks where he can just be like the most boring guy on the roster, and I know he's capable of so much better. He's done some fantastic things in the ring and great stuff with his character and great things on the mic and everything. And the story they got him in is just kind of this real wishy-washy type of thing. And, he's walking around with a fake, belt and calling himself champ. And it's like we've seen this in the past with other, stuff. It's just kind of an old gimmick. And, um, they're trying to make it like he's reigniting some sort of fire in Cody Rhodes, and I think that end of the day, Cody Rhodes retains. I don't see the only reason they would put the title on Kevin is to transition it. He would be a transitional champion.
Right.
They're not gonna put the title on him and then send him to WrestleMania. They
No.
would the only reason I see them if he was to lose if Cody was to lose this would be to transition it on to somebody else. But I don't know who would they be putting it on. So
Well,
for
the only
me,
thing I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying for me, I'm going with Cody Rhodes. It might seem just like, maybe too obvious of an answer, but I just don't see. I try to look down the pike a little bit and see like, well, okay, they get it off of him, they put it on Kevin Owens. Like I said, definitely not going to the main to WrestleMania with it. So they transition it off of him onto who, and then where
You mean
does that
Neidhart? Well, he's dead.
take it easy?
Ooh,
Yeah. So yeah, so there you go.
there
Cody
was a joke
Rhodes.
that nobody will get.
Yeah. Which is always great to tell on a podcast. Yeah.
But the other I could see somebody interfering in the match, costing Cody the win, giving Kevin Owens the title, and spawning off into a feud with Cody and whoever does that.
Well, here's the thing. He's can't I mean it's a no DQ situation because of the ladder.
Right.
But the title will not it's still the title still doesn't change hands.
Nobody, he cost him the win without, behind the ref's back, whatever. The ref
Well,
doesn't see it. It's not a
but
DQ. It's still a win for Kevin Owens.
it's a win for Kevin, but he doesn't get the belt though.
Well, sure he would. If the ref doesn't see it and there's no DQ and Kevin wins, he wins.
Oh, if the ref doesn't see it. Well, okay, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're still talking about putting the belt on Kevin Owens. How he gets there is I
Right.
mean, who
I mean, I
cares?
could see that happening, but I shouldn't say I could see that happening. I was thinking of that happening, but who would it be and what purpose would it serve? And I mean, it could be a lot of people. What purpose it would serve wouldn't make sense because then Kevin Owens is your champ. Now,
Well, So he did approach Sami Zayn and had a conversation with him and told him that at the Rumble, if Sammy has his back, he'll have Sammy's back in the Rumble, and that if Kevin was going to the main event at WrestleMania and he helps Sammy win the Royal Rumble, then the two of them could have their dream match of Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the title at WrestleMania. So that would be if anyone was going to do it, it would be Sami Zayn. So they've planted that seed there. But again, do you think they're going to put?
Well,
Do you think they're going to set up Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for WrestleMania? I don't think they do it this year.
well,
I
that's
don't
my
know.
point. If those guys, if,
Someday maybe, but I don't think this is the year.
that's my point. If that ends up being a WrestleMania title match, main event, I'm going to save my time of watching that thing. I like both guys enough. I don't like them both in a main event. They're just neither one does a whole lot for me. Anyway,
Right.
going back to the original premise, make a long, convoluted thing short. Uh, Cody's going to retain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Okay. Men's Royal Rumble. A lot of big names in this one here. We've got Seth Rollins. We've got CM Punk. We've got Roman Reigns. We've got Drew McIntyre. I mean, there's,
Eric
various.
St. Vaughn.
Man, we'll see. We'll see. You know, can't give away the surprises. I was talking to someone the other day. It's a shame that you don't get to see too many surprise people in the Rumbles anymore. They don't do that as much as they used to. That was part of the fun. But and I get it. They're trying to save more of those slots for active roster people. But back in the day, you could have at least five, six people who were like old school
Yeah, but
guys come out and stuff. And
those are fun until you get Molly Holly, who came out and got bounced out in about 20 seconds. That's not fun.
well, if they handle it wrong, right? But
And I don't care to see Michelle McCool come out either. I don't care, Undertaker. Do you hear that? I'm calling you out. Uh,
well.
you forgot John Cena. He's
John Cena's in it too. I'm not worried about John Cena winning this. I see John Cena doing a couple of years. I see him doing something that they did a few years ago with Seth Rollins. If you remember, Seth Rollins was trying to get into WrestleMania. And so he goes to the Rumble, he doesn't make it. He goes to Elimination Chamber, he doesn't make it. He's trying to get a match, but he can't justify anything. And then that's when they finally brought Cody Rhodes back from AEW to WWE, and then he had a match with that. That's how I see the Cena thing going. He's going to go to the Rumble, it's not going to work out. He's going to go to Elimination Chamber, it's not going to work out. He's coming up on Mania, and he hasn't done anything to score himself a big match. Something will happen, and then either someone will come back or whatever. Whoever his last match is going to be will instigate it, and that'll be it. But he's not winning the Rumble, so
I
he does,
agree.
he doesn't need to.
Of course I
Uh,
agree.
so with the people involved, all the names and all the different storylines going on, I I'm not happy about my prediction, but I actually am thinking that Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
I don't see he, he's got to be in the main event at WrestleMania one way or the other, okay, or in a main event, but if not, the big main event. You could get him there through the Elimination Chamber, but I think the storyline for him needs to start now to get you to WrestleMania, whatever it's going to be. If they're going to put, because it's whether it's him and if it's him and The Rock or whatever the case is, I don't know. They got to get this started now. Now he doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble to face The Rock, obviously, but um, I don't know. I don't see anybody that has like a single storyline that trumps the rest of everyone else's more than him. I mean, like he's just got more depth in his storyline. Anything going on with Punk and the rest of them, I don't know. Like, I would love to see Punk versus Rhodes at WrestleMania. I think that would be a great match, and I'd be all about Punk taking the title off of Rhodes. I think Rhodes has had enough with it and everything. So, um, I'm not like completely 100% like Reigns is definitely winning this. There's no doubt in my mind or anything like that. He's just the one that I can lean towards the most in the out of the group of guys in there. I just feel like he's got one more they're gonna give him, and then I think they can start wrapping up this bloodline thing finally.
Well, I agree with you up to a point. They do need to wrap up the bloodline thing, and Reigns has uh, they are deeply invested in him, and he is going to somehow manage to get into a main event of some sort at WrestleMania. Remember, there's 2 days. It goes forever.
Right,
They could easily come up. He could easily get a match of some magnitude, maybe against Cena. Who knows? Because people are going to find their way into WrestleMania one way or the other.
right.
But this one's going to be Punk, and Punk's going to go on to have his dream match at WrestleMania because that's what he's always wanted. That's what he's always complained about. Punk versus Cody, I think, would be a great match.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm going, in Chicago's finest, Punk. So we have a difference. I'm going with CM Punk, the best in the world.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, he would be my next choice in line, would be Punk. So, uh, so I completely understand, and we'll see. Like I said, honestly, I hope you're right. I mean, like I'm not happy about my prediction, but I would much rather see Punk. I just I worry about him only because he's been so damned injury
I was
prone.
just going to say brittle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, I can just see this guy winning the Rumble, them setting him up for it, and then like he'll win the Rumble and then he'll trip over himself walking out of the ring and then the whole thing falls apart.
Well, then you
You
got a
know?
little tournament or whatever to replace him, and that's how Cena or Roman gets in there.
Yeah. So
So
so that's
okay,
it. That's
so
so we got one out of one for three. And now if we're both wrong, then nobody gets anything on that one.
right, it doesn't matter if yours finishes later than mine.
No, there's no, yeah, it doesn't matter, you
But we do
know.
have to. You brought it up, so let's throw out just a few names for surprises. I think obviously in the women's, Trish, Lita, Mickey James, Michelle McCool always are possibilities. I would love to see. It's a long shot, but I would love to see AJ Lee come back.
Oh, that would be huge. That would be huge. And I'll tell you something, it could be an indicator if they are pushing Punk to win that Rumble then too, because if she shows up at that, then they can start incorporating her into the storyline heading into WrestleMania with Punk. If he wins this thing, and or even if he doesn't, I mean, like, she at least becomes a player in the situation because now she's someone that, like, Drew McIntyre can talk about or whatever and stuff. I would love to see AJ Lee. That's a true surprise because, like you said, the other ones are just all so predictable. It's
Yeah.
like Trish could come out and be like, "Yeah, that's great. It's good to see her and everything." Honestly, and I know we talk about it, and this is still no joke, man. Santina Marella, man, if she came out at that, dude, that would make the whole Rumble for me, man. If they did Santina Marella and she came out, oh man, yeah, that would be fantastic.
Well, then
Uh,
Erica St. Vaughn has to come back.
yeah, well, she's never debuted, but
Well,
but Santina is definitely the inspiration,
well,
and
he's not going to come back because he's in AEW now doing the same gig.
um, well, that's too bad. But I would have loved that. But I mean, I can't think of too many females that would make me pop at this point. That they got like
AJ is the only one that would really make me pop.
she's the one who would, yeah, turn that place up, yeah, so to speak. That's her music actually.
Good, good. Nice tie-in.
Turn it up, da, da, da.
Well, there we have it, folks.
Well, what about on the men's side? Any surprise people you'd like to see on the? I mean, even that, it's kind of like the ones you'd like to see.
Dolph Ziggler, maybe, because it's the TNA tie-in.
Yeah. I
Or
mean,
maybe
yeah,
Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's just it's not like you're gonna see Edge and even if he
No.
did, it's kind of like who cares?
Was there one of those like who came back to is
It
Big
would
Show
have to be like a
was,
major comeback type thing. Like it would have to be like Jericho leaves AEW and
yeah.
shows up at the Royal Rumble or something like that.
But
They would
didn't one
have
of the guys didn't one of the guys leave like either Big Show or Mark Henry or one of those guys?
well,
I thought one of them is gone from AEW. Yeah, Mark Henry.
Mark Henry is, but that's because he took over that league in what is it, Jamaica or
Oh,
whatever.
but it's so
That's
he
where
could still come back. And so Booker T, I don't know.
that's the company that Justin King just
Yeah,
got promoted in and
name
is
dropper.
doing talent relations and stuff. Not dropping names, it's a fact, you know. Uh, so yeah, yeah, it's I think it's like Caribbean something wrestling is what it is. It's not Jamaican. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's gonna. I mean, like, who are they gonna get at this point? But there was a window of time when you could get like, Piper and Steamboat
Yeah,
and guys like that to come out and everything. But
too
it's like
old.
those guys are, yeah, it's they've done it. They're done. And then the people who like you would bring from like 20 years ago. I mean, like, who are you gonna bring? Like Heath, what's his name?
Later.
Yeah,
Well,
Heath
like
Slater or
bounce around
something.
Hulk Hogan's name. That's not going to happen.
No. Well, no, that guy's got, yeah, I don't think they're gonna do
Yeah,
that at the Rumble. So anyway, well, there it is. Royal Rumble 2025. We've got four matches. We've got the predictions. I do love the Royal Rumble. I mean, it's always fun, no matter what, to see who comes out in what order, who eliminates who, how it all shakes out, and it's fun. A lot of fun games you can play. I've done plenty of drinking games over the years with the Royal Rumble, and
a lot of betting.
a lot of betting going on and stuff. So it's a fun night. It's one of it. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. It's just because it's how unique it is. So I hope everybody out there enjoys watching it. And as always, drop us a comment and let us know your predictions and let us know who you think and why. And if you disagree with me or especially Johngy, definitely, share your reasons why. Otherwise, we will be back again for, I believe, the Elimination Chamber is next, March 1st. And we'll be back for that. And until then, everybody enjoy the Rumble. Thank you for tuning into Pinfalls. As always, I, of course, have been who else but Tommy else. And with me, as always, from JohnGSpeed.com and the everyday fan, Mr. John Wroblewski.
Enjoy.